Hi guys, Matic2 here today, and today I'm here to kick off War Week on the Blu-ray Brothers channel. We hope you all had a fantastic time last week viewing our Schwarzenegger videos, and yeah, so really can't wait to do this week's subject. War films have always been kind of a passion of mine, I guess. I've always been big into World War II films ever since I viewed my first one in secondary school in history class. So yeah, it's always been a topic of mine that I've really enjoyed or like learning about, I guess. So I'm going to be doing a top 10 video today. I've got 10 titles here to show you, so let's go over to the table and we'll talk down my top 10. Okay then guys, we're now down at the table. I've got my top 10 films here. They're in no particular order. I couldn't really choose favourites throughout these films. There are some better made films which obviously I'll discuss. But some of these are Amarais and some of these are special editions, so I'll quickly skim through the Amarais editions and I'll show you the good stuff about, you know, the really good editions that I've got here. So the first film that we're going to be talking about is The Boys from Brazil. This is a fantastically made film. It stars Gregory Peck, Laurence Olivier and James Mason. The basic outline of the plot is a Nazi hunter in Paraguay basically discovers that there's Nazi war criminals in South America, and there's another Nazi hunter in Germany, and he basically tries to find out what's happening with these Nazi war criminals in Argentina. It's a very well done film. Probably didn't give it much attention in the past because I just didn't know much about it. You know, The Boys from Brazil doesn't particularly stand out as a war title, I guess. But when I looked into it and I watched the film, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It's an imagination of what could have happened after the war, I guess. You know, there's some factual bits about it, but it's mainly fabricated. But it's a very good story, and it's quite frightening in places as well. So yeah, The Boys from Brazil is absolutely fantastic. It was released in 1978, and it's directed by Franklin J. Schaefer, who I don't think I've seen any of his other work before, but this was definitely fantastic, and I highly recommend it. So the next film up is a film called In Darkness. This was an Academy Award nominee for the 2011 Best Foreign Film. Yeah, this was one absolutely fantastic film. It really impacted me quite hard, and it's basically about a Polish man. He's a bit of a petty thief, I guess. You know, and he's not a fan of the Nazis. You know, he's living in the occupied territory, and yeah, it's basically about this story about this man who is, you know, he works in the sewers. He's the maintenance guy sort of down there, and he discovers some Jews trying to escape from a ghetto in Poland, and you know, he basically gets the Jews to pay him money and other goods and stuff like that for them to basically live down there and for him not to report them to the Nazis, because obviously if he reported to the Nazis he would have got paid regardless, but he decided to help the Jews, and throughout the story, you know, the connection between the two really grows, and it's a really fantastic, well done film, and it really hit me hard. This one is a Region A Blu-ray, and yeah, I had to import this. It was only £5, but yeah, it's a fantastic film, and I really highly recommend it. I'm not going to mention any of the cast in this, although there is a lot of great actors in this. You know, obviously I'll butcher the names, so I'll keep that for better voices than mine. But yes, this is an absolutely fantastic film. I highly recommend it if you're into sort of Holocaust movies, I guess. So yeah, In Darkness. So the next film up is Black Book. This is directed by Paul Verhoeven, who you may know from Total Recall and Basic Instinct and films like that. This is a very well done film. It stars Carice Van Houten, who you may know as the Red Woman from Game of Thrones, as you can see pictured here. But yes, this is basically a film about sort of the resistance in the Netherlands. Basically, this character here, she basically infiltrates the Nazi Gestapo in order to, you know, try and bring the Nazis down, sort of thing. And it's a very well done film, very emotional in parts as well, and quite hard hitting in one particular scene. But yeah, it's a very well done film, and it's, you know, it's a really good. I'm not sure if there's any truth behind this film. I'm not sure whether it's factually correct. I know obviously a lot of the settings are and things like that, but I'm not sure whether this was actually a story that actually happened. It's a great film though, and I really recommend it. You know, it's very well directed. Of course, Paul Verhoeven does a great job as usual. So yes, we have Black Book. So yeah, next up we have Braveheart. This is obviously a film directed by Mel Gibson and stars Mel Gibson. Basically, between the war between Scotland and England. Again, it's kind of factually correct, but I know there are some major differences within this story to what happened in real life. But yes, it's a very well done film. There's a great cast in it. Obviously, Mel Gibson's great as usual. You got Patrick McGoogan. Just trying to think who else is in this. James Cosmo, Brian Cox, who's great as always. But yeah, there's a great cast in this one, and it's a very well done war film. It won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. So it's a great war film. William Wallace in this, I absolutely love it. I think he's a great character and he's very strong. And yeah, it's a very well done film. I think I know there's some people that don't like it, but I think it's a very good war film. And yeah, even though it's not factually correct, I think it's a very well done film regardless. So yeah, Braveheart. So next up we have Rambo, First Blood, obviously starring the great Sly Stallone, directed by Ted Kotcheff. This film's basically about, if you don't know, I'm sure many people already do, but this is about a Vietnam War veteran. He comes back to the United States and he's wandering around, just drifting across towns and trying to find his old army friends from the war. And he ends up drifting through this small town, and it's a very close-knit community, and the sheriff doesn't like drifters, I guess. He tries to just try and keep the civilians in the town safe, I guess. It's kind of his job. But he doesn't like Rambo, and Rambo tries to rebel against him, and he ends up locking him up, and basically Rambo escapes, and he tries to lead a one-man army. But I think this is one of Stallone's best performances, along with obviously Rocky. He has a very emotional scene at the end, which I think is great. And although this film isn't set directly in the war, and it sort of does flashbacks and things like that, but obviously he's creating his own war as well. And the scenes at the end really portray, I guess, the damage that war can do to people who have to fight it and have to view these things. And I think that's a very important scene. And yeah, I really liked Stallone's performance in this, and obviously it's a great action film as well. So it's probably my favourite action film of all time. So but yeah, Rambo's got to be up there as well. One of the great war films out there. So yeah, Rambo, First Blood. So next up we have Valkyrie, directed by Bryan Singer, obviously starring Tom Cruise, Bill Knightley, Karis Van Houten, and a great host of other people as well. This film's essentially about the trying to assassinate Hitler during World War II. Yeah, it's a great film. I believe it's based on the true story. I'm not sure how close it follows it. I believe there might be some things changed, but it's a very good adaptation of the truth, I guess. And yeah, it's a very well done film. I'm not usually one for Tom Cruise, but I think he's great in this role. And yeah, just the supporting cast around him as well, I think really work. It's a great story as well. It's obviously a shame that it didn't work, but yeah, I think it'd have saved much more lives if it did. But yeah, Valkyrie's a great film, and really enjoyed this one. And yeah, so Valkyrie. So now we're coming on to the more limited edition stuff, which I'll go through a bit more in detail. The first one up here, as you can see, is the Schindler's List UK Digibook, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Ralph Fiennes and of course Liam Neeson in the lead role as Oscar Schindler. Again, another true story, obviously adapted to film. But yes, it's a very emotional film, obviously all shot in black and white, and of course there's the amazing, memorable scene of the young girl in the coloured coat, I believe it was red. But yeah, it's a fantastic film. It's very, very sad, of course, and it's devastating. Personally, I don't find it too depressing, because I think because I've viewed it quite a few times now. But it is a very sad story nonetheless, and I've shed a fair few tears over this film. But as you can see, this is a lovely digibook. So got the spine here. I'm only going to drift through these guys because I've got another 3 to show after this as well. So, but yeah, it's a very nice looking digibook. On the back, it's just blank. If we open it up, we have, of course, the girl in the red coat, so I was right. You have a disc there, it's a Blu-ray disc. We've got a little booklet here about the Showa Foundation. And yeah, you've got a very cool book, obviously, as usual digibooks go. But yeah, there's obviously Ralph Fiennes as the guarding Auschwitz-Birkenau, I believe, is the commandant of the camp. And yeah. So yeah, and you've got a bonus DVD disc in the back and the typewriter there. So yeah, it's a very cool digibook for a fantastic film, and yeah, it's a very sad and emotional film, as I say, but you know it needs to be seen, to be honest, because otherwise you're not going to learn from the past. So, but yeah, Schindler's List, amazing film. So next up we have Apocalypse Now, amazing film, obviously directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall, Martin Sheen, Lawrence Fishburne, Dennis Hopper and Harrison Ford. Amazing film, probably one of the best war films I've ever seen, just absolutely brilliant. But as you can see, this is a very nice edition, so let's look around it. Here we have the spine. It's got some nice gold writing on it, the collector's edition. If we look at the back, we have obviously the full spec of everything that's in here. You've got Apocalypse Now Redux, Heart of Darkness, the documentary, and over 9 hours of bonus features. So yeah. And then we have a digipack, we have a book, I think there's 2 books in here, and we've got a lot of postcards as well, so let's have a look inside. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of stuff in here. So here we have some postcards. Decent size actually, they're not too small, pretty large to be fair. So yeah, those are those. We have a book here. I'm not sure what this one's about, the introduction to the film and some other cool stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you've got a full disclosure collector's edition booklet in the heart of the movie. Assuming this is sort of a making of sort of thing. Very cool. Storyboards and concept art, things like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Here we have the digipack, as you can see on the front there. We have a nice gold writing on the spine again. We have one of the most famous images from the film on the back. And if we open it up, we have the Apocalypse Now and Apocalypse Now Redux disc. We have the special features disc, and on the last disc we have the Heart of Darkness and additional special features. So yeah, it's a very nice box set. Yeah, awesome film. Only seen it once. I've only seen the original cut, or I might have watched Redux, I'm not too sure. But yeah, amazing war film. Highly recommend watching it. Right, so next up we have Inglorious Basterds, obviously directed by the great Quentin Tarantino, starring Brad Pitt, Christoph Waltz, Michael Fassbender, Eli Roth, Diane Kruger, Daniel Bruhl, and a whole host of other great people. This is the UK limited edition version with the Amorate and art cards. As you can see, it's a very nice edition, and I think the film's absolutely fantastic. It's definitely one of my favourites, and yeah, it's just a great, fun, sort of different adaptation of the past, I guess. A past where, you know, obviously Hitler dies in a great way, deservedly. But yeah, this is a fantastic edition as well. So yeah, we have the spine here. It's nice. On the front we have sort of an embossed swastika and the Inglorious Basterds with the eagle. It's a very nice effect on it, sort of a damaged gunmetal effect, I guess, to the case. Blood splatters and things like that. So on the back we just have all the information about the film, and inside we have the Amorate and a lot of art cards. So let's take out the art cards and Amorate and have a look. So first of all we have the Amorate. Nothing very special about this, you know, it's pretty standard. Just a normal disc inside. But these are very cool, these art cards, absolutely fantastic. So first up we have this one here. Love the effect of this one. We have this one here. These are obviously all made for the film, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I love this Japanese one here, I think that's very cool. We have this one here. So yeah, these are very, very cool, and it's a fantastic edition. To be fair, I didn't pay much for it, so just, you know, very, very cool. So yeah, that's Inglorious Basterds. Okay then guys, so last up we have The Pianist, directed by Roman Polanski and starring Adrian Brody. One of my favourite war films of all time. Definitely up there in my top 20 films of all time as well, maybe top 25, I'm not too sure. But yeah, this is a great film, and the first war film I ever watched, and I discussed it earlier when I said you know, I'd watched a film in history in high school, and this was that film. I think it was actually the backbreaking scene of the child, as you can see in the picture. That really shocked me, and it sort of spurred me into watching more films, I guess. So I sort of heard this film quite a lot. But yeah, it's an amazing performance by Adrian Brody. It's absolutely amazing. But yes, this is the Korean Kimchi DVD exclusive. So I'm going to give you a look around this in a moment. So yeah, let's get on with it. So as you can see on the spine here, it sort of wraps around from the front cover. On the front here, we have one of the most iconic scenes in the film. Turn around to the back. We have sort of a credit card with my limited edition number on it. The special features at the bottom, and sort of a quote from the film. Inside we have the steelbook, and we also have a booklet. So let's get those two out and have a look. So first of all, I'll show you the booklet. I believe this is half in Korean, half in English. So and again, another one of the iconic scenes from the film. Definitely Adrian Brody's best performance in a film, I think, that there's ever really been. So yeah, it's an amazing film, and I really highly recommend you watch it if you're into sort of World War II related films, I guess. So here's the steelbook. It is a high gloss finish, as you can see. The hands and the piano keys, no, it's just the hands, sorry, and the writing are embossed. Should just be able to pick that up there. But yeah, it's a very nice gloss finish. On the spine. And on the back. Again, one of the iconic scenes from the film. If we open it up, we get some art cards. And some smaller art cards as well. We've got two discs. I think one is the audio DVD, which is the CD. I think it's the score to the film. So there's the Blu-ray. And we have the audio DVD, which is the soundtrack, I believe. And here's the inside artwork. Obviously, destroyed Poland. So yeah, that's the steelbook edition of The Pianist. So I'll round all these back up, and we'll have a quick little brief overview. Okay then guys, so those are my favourite war films of all time. I do have some honourable mentions as well. One is Come and See, which I don't own yet because it's not currently out on Blu-ray. We also have The Great Escape, which I'm trying to get a better edition of. There's a French digibook that I'm trying to get at the moment. There's a few others as well, but those are just some honourable mentions. As I say, I highly recommend every film that I've shown in this list, particularly In Darkness, which may be a bit more unknown, I guess, with a film, and of course Black Book as well. But I highly recommend all of these films that I've shown. I hope this may spark your interest in seeing some of these films, and yeah, I've highly enjoyed doing this video for you guys. So thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below, and I will see you all in the next one, guys. Bye.